Hey, welcome. This is our video on how to lay out exterior walls. And I talked my dad into putting the camera on, so we'll start with him.
Come over 7 inches. That way a 2x6 block works for backing to tie this wall to this wall. And then I just start with 16s centers from there so that my sheeting will break. And when I get to 4 foot, I can use full sheets all the way through. In this wall, I have a window for this bedroom, 6050 window, double trims, anything bigger than 48 inches, double trims, and possibly if it's bigger, it'll have more. Wall, I'm going to put a patio out the back of this back door. So I'm going to have a beam pocket here. I'll leave this out until we stand the wall, and then I'll level it in. That'll accommodate 211 and 7/8. So back door, stud trim, door opening, trim stud. Come across here in the living room. These continue on 16-inch centers. Stud, trim for another 6/0 window. Trim stud. And from there, I just pick up and finish laying it out across the entire back. This again will be a beam pocket. For the back patio, it's going to span, the back patio is going to span the width of this living room. The window ends there. This is going to be a beam pocket here. It'll be again 3.5 inches for the beam to accommodate a double, either a 9.5 inch LVL or an 11 7/8 LVL, which will leave this 3.5 inches. Probably leave those out for a minute. Pick up layout, common layout again, and just roll with it. This is the master bedroom. Again, I'm coming up with another 6/0 window here. 6050 bedroom window. These are my trimmers, double trimmers. I may or may not change this stud here. Stud, trim. Cripplers above and below the windows, possibly, depending on how high I put the header. So window, make sure the end of your tape's pushed in, get a good accurate measurement. 6 foot. Beginning of or the end of this window opening. Trim. Stud. Continue with the common layout. And this is where I'll cut this, the middle of the stud. This is the edge of my stud. The edge of my stud. Make sure these are tight. And just continue. You actually just cut a chunk of this plate, stick in here, a little over 8 foot. long so I can clip the end. Got a wall here, so I'm going to actually put a wall channel in right there. That'll pick up the backing on this side for the sheetrock in this room. And then layout just continues from there. Same thing, I need backing for this other inside wall. I'm going to come 7 inches. That leaves me with a 5.5 inch block, wall channel block right here. I need a skill saw.
Super grateful for my dad for showing exactly how he did that back wall. For the rest of this, he wore the camera, but I think it's expected of me to do the audio, I guess. Say what we got going on. But either way, super glad my dad did this for me. He's the one that's usually over all the layouts. The last house I ended up doing the layouts. Just really depends on what we got going on. Most of the time it's him though, so either way we'll follow along with what he's doing. He's marking out 7 inches. You do 7 inches so that you can have a 6.5 inch block there to tie your corner end together. And then he's going to go every 16 inches after that. We go with 16 inches because that's our main layout. We do that because it works best for our sheeting. I mean, it's really common. I believe everybody does it that way. He'll find the layout that he splits on. He'll cut that. We'll end up having a crippler that splits onto that 2x6. Tacking a nail so that your corner can be directly on, so that you can butt this other 2x6 into it, this other top plate. That's really what we're doing right here is our top plate. Butt it in and we'll just keep moving along. Looks like we got a bolt in the way right there. That's gonna get cut off. What was super cool about this house and the way that we did it is when we went to do the floor, we did pull off where we believed that our chalk lines would be at, which is where they ended up off of these 1632s. So where these studs are going to be placed at are going to land directly on the joists. I mean, under the sheeting, but directly on the joists at their 1632s commons. And those joists land directly above our little pony wall studs, which goes directly to the foundation. That's our goal for when we do exterior walls and it's built this way, is so that it literally, wood goes to wood, always making contact, so this house can be held the best way possible. Looks like we got a window right here. We went and marked out all our windows before we even did our green plate, which worked out pretty well. So that we went to go do our layouts, we're able to get all our studs where they need to be pretty quickly. These windows are 6 foot, so he's gonna get that directly on there. Mark 6 foot, and then he's gonna go with his trims again. Any opening that's bigger than 48 inches, you need to have 2 trims. So he's gonna have 1 trim there, another trim, and then he's gonna have a stud that goes all the way up to the top plate. We're gonna do a video on the headers that we do, but it really is just 3 layers of 2x10. We also marked out where there's going to be a beam pocket right here as well. So he's going to mark one side of it. He's going to give it 3.5 inches of spacing so that we can put a 2x4, 2 2x4s in to hold that beam up flat ways. You'll see that. We're going to jump into all these things here. There's so many things that we got to do. But yeah, we'll have a beam right there. It's going to hold up this front porch that we're going to install here soon. There's our doorway, trimming a stud. And then we have a wall there, so we're going to put in wall channel. Blocking. Cripplers above the doors and above windows, and trims the other side of our door. Got another window right here. It's going to be in our kitchen. So it's going to be 6 foot wide. So 6'0", but it's going to be a 4'0". It's not going to be, it's going to be the same height as the other ones, except it's going to, the top will be the same height, but the bottom of it will be up another foot so that we can fit a kitchen sink in behind it. We pretty much put 6 foot windows on all of our homes now. We put them on the bedrooms, we put them on the living rooms, we put them in the kitchens.
Another 6.
It seems like people really like them. We like to put them in. I mean, they let in a lot of sunlight, and yeah, they like them. So that's what we've been doing. Trim stud. The other edge of the window. Cripplers in the middle. And we're going to give us he's going to mark it 7 inches again right there so that we can put in a 2x6 wall channel block to tie that corner in together. All right, we're going to jump to the next wall that we're going to be building. Oh, and he's going to start with where the window is going to be at. We're going to have a window directly above the toilet to let in any amount of sunlight as we can into that bathroom. Also, we like to put in most of our bathrooms windows so that when you get the moisture in there, yeah, you'll have the fan to help get that out, all that humidity, whatever you call it. But also, if you need to open a window so that you can avoid getting mold or anything like that, always helps. So we try to get a window into each bathroom. The rest of this wall will be super easy and simple. It's going to be 1632s all the way down. We run into our garage wall. When we do go to build the garage, we'll end up keeping that 1632 all the way to the front of the house so that we can have full sheets as much as we possibly can and avoid making as much cuts possible when we go to sheet. You're going to notice that on all these top plates he cuts off each end. Usually with factory edges, the board usually splits, so we just cut them so that we can avoid that as much as possible.
I don't know. You have to look and see. So like, don't flap. And then you'll know for certain. You know what I mean? Or I've really been getting them from them because they're not cheaper. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Doesn't it? Yeah.
For all the wall channel blocking that we have put in place for the interior walls, you know, so we're going to have a wall that'll be showing up and running into this part of our exterior wall. So we're going to put in our wall channel block. Our wall channel block will be 5.5 inches because it's a 2x6. We always do it at a 2x6. That's what we're doing right here. There's going to be a wall right there. The reason we do it at a 2x6 for all of our exterior wall channel blocks is because when we go to put these in, it's all fine and dandy, but when we go to insulate, we want there to have space on the right side or the left side of that interior wall so that we can insulate. If it's just a 2x4 wall channel block, it's either not going to give you the backing you need, or it's not going to be able to fit that insulation in there. So that's one of the things that we always consider when we're doing these exterior walls, is to make sure that it works for our insulation. Okay, so he's going to go through and mark all these out because as of the moment, he thinks that the top plate's going to sit on top of the other wall. See right there? So he can't set it directly on it to square it like he has with the rest. So he's going to mark them just like that. Flip your board on its side and get them all marked. Make sure you're really accurate and you have everything directly where it needs to be and precise with all the marks that you do. And we end up cutting that down. We make a different decision here later on. Okay, now we're working on a garage wall here. It's literally going to be 1632s all the way across until we get to a door. Door is less than 48 inches. So we're going to end up just doing one trim and a stud, popping to the other side, doing a trim and a stud. Okay, so we want to make sure that all of our 1632s lay out really nicely with that exterior wall of the it'll be a 2x4 garage wall. We're going to mark where those 1632s will be so that we can match this inside wall with them where this 2x6 is at. So that from the front of the garage where it's going to be 2x4 for like 13 feet, and then it's going to switch to the house to the 2x6. We want that layout to stay the same all the way through. Okay, I think this is our last wall. It's going to be 1632s all the way across. We do that just to make sure that our sheeting has the most minimal amount of cuts possible. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for checking out our layout video of how we lay out our exterior walls. The next videos that you'll see coming out here is what we do when we have a stud that lands on any of these bolts, how we do our headers, how we build our walls, and give you a whole rundown on that. Either way, grateful that you checked this video out. Really, all these videos are just me saving this man's work of what he's taught me and what he'll keep showing me. And really grateful for my dad, and really grateful for the opportunity to be able to compile this information and show it. So thanks, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Really grateful you checked this out, and take care. Bye.